Hello loves, and welcome back to Life with Chiquisha, and welcome back to another segment of Living Healthy at 50. So today I am trying a recipe of my own. It's actually one of my favorite go-to recipes anytime that I'm trying to reset my diet. But now that I'm trying to introduce more plant-based dishes to my lifestyle and trying to figure out what I can eat, for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, I'm really enjoying playing around with some things that I've used in the past and coupling them up with some things that I am now learning today by watching some of the most amazing plant-based YouTubers. So today's recipe was, like I stated, inspired by one of my favorite dishes that I like to make when I'm trying to reset and eat balanced and eat a lot of fresh vegetables, and is what I call my veggie bowl. But I've recently found a Thai peanut sauce that is everything. I feel like it pairs with a salad, a rice dish, just on salmon, if you're still eating meat, whatever you love to eat. I feel like this sauce will go amazing with any of those dishes. Maybe not beef, but definitely more of your lighter proteins if you're still doing meat. But this is all about plant-based, so I'm gonna try to leave out talking about meats, but I will also let you know that you can use whatever type of protein that you choose to if you want to modify these dishes based on your palate and your diet. Today's recipe I am calling a spicy Thai peanut and basil veggie bowl. I know that's a long title, but it incorporates this new Thai peanut sauce that I picked up from Shakayla. I know I talk about her a lot, but listen, when you find somebody that is doing what they're supposed to do, you give them credit when credit is due. You give them their flowers now, not later. Okay? So I decided to pair that with my favorite veggies over top of some jasmine rice, in which jasmine rice is my favorite. And I'll also tell you throughout the video as I'm prepping the meal and fixing it that you can also, again, substitute it with any type of quinoa or even maybe like pasta or noodles. Whatever your preference is, my goal when I'm making these recipes is to let you know that you can just make them however you want to. Make them specific to your taste, your palate, and what you are craving. But in this video, I'm going to show you how I enjoy my veggies over jasmine rice and tested it out for the first time. I haven't had this recipe, and I told y'all that any of the recipes that I try, I am making them and trying them with you guys. I'm not gonna do a test kitchen run and make the dishes and this is good or this is bad. I'm gonna give y'all my real life and honest to goodness opinion on how those dishes taste as I'm making them, because it's all about being open, honest, and transparent on this journey of living healthy at 50. And regardless of what your age is, living healthy is always going to be, it should be, your primary goal. So we're going to stop all this talking and let's get into cooking. Okay, loves, so hopefully the lighting is doing what it's supposed to do. So what I'm going to do first is to prep all of my veggies. I'm going to bake it in the oven on probably like 350 for about 20 minutes because I like my veggies to still be crispy. But I'm going to chop up all the stuff that needs to be chopped up, and then I'll bring the pan over to show you how I'm going to season everything. I'm using some already cleaned and cut broccoli florets. I have some carrot chips that I'm going to use because I like to have my carrots more rounded than strips. I'm going to use a red onion. I'm going to do some zucchini, and I'm not sure if I'm going to do these in rounds or slices. I'm going to do some baby carrots, in which I'll probably add these in last because they're already brined, so it's not going to take that long for them to be done. And then I'm going to slice up a few of these peppers, red, yellow, and orange. Now the only thing I wish I had was a mushroom, but depending on how well I like this flavor combination, I may add that on another day that I make this dish. But I wanted to kind of create my own recipe for my second video, as well as incorporating some things that I've learned from some other influencers. So let's go ahead and get everything prepped so we can put it on the pan. Okay, so I have this big sheet pan, and again, I do hope that the lighting is working for this video, because I'm passionate about my vlogs, but it's something about being creative with creating dishes that not only taste delicious, but are healthy for me. So I'm going to first spray the pan. So I'm just using extra virgin olive oil spray. I'm gonna take my ring off because I'm gonna use my hands to toss. All right, so I have all of my veggies that I have cut. I'm just gonna dump them on the plate. It smells so good already. Then these carrots, some broccoli, cut off of the stalks. Now I know a lot of people like the stalks. It's got a lot of nutritional value to it, but I only will eat them if they're still attached to the broccoli. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and finish cutting these stalks up, and then I'll be right back. Okay, this should be enough. Let me just kind of, because I love broccoli. Like when I get my Thai basil, and I'm gonna also add some basil leaves to this again at the end, because since this is a Thai inspired dish, I want to keep all the elements in here. And I'm gonna just cut up some of these carrot chips as well. And y'all, the funny thing is, when I was younger, I'm like, why do you need kitchen scissors? I never understood until I actually really started getting in the kitchen myself. It makes a lot of things easier. Like, I mean, cutting with a knife is cool because it makes it look like you got skills and stuff like that. But when you're trying to do quick and fast meals, sometimes doing it this way is the best way. So, to add more broccoli or not. What I'm gonna do now is just to take some EVOO, and I gave it an extra O, but some EVOO. I love the Trader Joe's brand, but if I don't get Trader Joe's, I actually love the Papina, however you pronounce it. But I love that. But I like to coat some olive oil because that's more natural fats. Then we're gonna season this thing up with some onion powder, and I'm just shaking it all around with this little small teaspoon. Have to add garlic powder, Like garlic and onion powder to me are the dynamic duos. You can't have one without the other. Now, I am going to add a little bit of Italian seasoning. And so this is my salt and pepper, the Nature's seasonal blend. It has a lot of other seasonings in it, but I prefer to use this over salt and pepper. It's, you know, it's your prerogative. You can use whatever you want. If you want to use salt and pepper, use salt and pepper. But doesn't this look so pretty? And so now, since we are doing a spicy Thai basil dish, gotta add some crushed red peppers. And y'all, these are the jars that I got from Target. If you didn't get them while they had them in the bullseye spot, then you probably missed out. So now I'm just gonna use my hands. Or if you don't like to use your hands, you can use gloves. If you don't like to use the hand situation at all, you can use like salad prongs, or even like, you know, get a bigger spoon. But we're gonna get dirty. We're gonna get dirty. Let's get physical. Physical. I wanna get physical. Oh my gosh, y'all, this smells so good. I'm surprised technology has not invented smell-o-vision. Y'all remember those cartoons that used to be like smell-o-vision? I feel like it was the Jetsons. The Jetsons was ahead of their time. And a lot of the stuff that the Jetsons had on TV, some of those things have came to fruition, some of them have not. But look at this. How beautiful is this? Okay, now we're gonna pop in the oven. Okay, so now we're going to make our spicy Thai sauce or dressing, and I'm going to actually add some basil to this as well, but we're going to go ahead and take our base ingredients and put them all together. Okay, so I'm just going to go step by step. I am doubling the batch, so everything that it calls for, I'm just doubling it. If you're tripling it, you just triple everything that it has. So if it says 2 tablespoons, you will do 4. Now I love spicy, but when I double it, whoo child, it be a little too spicy. So today we're just gonna start off with 2 tablespoons. I'm not gonna double it to 4, and then I'll taste it to determine if I want to add more as we go. The great thing about this is you can add in more flavors if you need to as it goes. So we're gonna start off with 6 tablespoons of the PB Fit peanut butter powder, and I'm just gonna kind of stir it all up because some of the little pieces are a little clumpy. And now you can use any peanut butter powder. You can even use regular peanut butter. And again, all of these ingredients, if you're not doing plant-based, you can use, you know, regular ingredients as well. But again, because I'm trying to adjust, change, and add and subtract certain things in and out of my diet, I'm trying to be more mindful. So now we're gonna add 3 tablespoons of rice wine vinegar. Well, not rice wine, but just rice vinegar. Then we're gonna do 2 tablespoons of Sriracha. Again, once it's finished, if you feel like you want to make it just a tad more spicy, you can, but we just gonna start off with 2 for now, because when I tell you it was good, but my mouth was on fire. So now we're gonna do 2 teaspoons of sesame oil. I feel like I don't have enough, but we're gonna make it do what it do. So that means I'd have to do 4 because we're doubling this up. So we're gonna see. That's 1, 2, 3. Won't he do it? Won't he do it? Cloud by day, fire by night, manna in the morning. And this is a really good one. This is Trader Joe's. Okay, so now we're going to do our coconut aminos. You can do coconut aminos or you can do soy sauce. So I am doing 4 tablespoons of this. The next thing is some either agave or some maple syrup. I have some maple syrup, so we're gonna do that. And we're going to use 2 teaspoons. Well, actually 4. I'm reading the recipe as I go so I can make sure I do it right and don't miss anything. Now we're gonna do a juice of a whole lime. Hopefully this will be nice and juicy. So we're gonna just cut this in half. Today is my first time using my juice squeezer or juicer, whatever you want to call it. So I'm gonna just put it inside of here. I love how it has all that space. So we're just gonna squeeze. Yes. And I tend to find that if you tilt it, more juice comes out because it doesn't necessarily all come out of those holes at the bottom. I know I saw somebody do it upside down, so let's try it like that. Oh yeah, that makes the juice really come out of the hole better. Let me know which way you juice. Do you put the flat side down at the bottom or right side up? This did give me produce a lot more juice this way. Now we're gonna add some of our dynamic duo, garlic and onion powder. It calls for a half a teaspoon, so we're gonna do 2 of these because my tablespoon is dirty. So I'm gonna just do 2 of each. And on her website, she just says garlic powder, but I do believe I've seen in a couple of her videos where she used both. Okay, so I have 3 more minutes until the veggies are done, and then I'm going to check them and add the baby corns. But now we're going to do some nutritional yeast. Not nutritional yeast. We're gonna do some of my salt and pepper. And this calls for 1/4 of a tablespoon of black pepper. But like I said, I'm gonna use this blend. I used it the last few times I made it and it didn't hurt, so I'm gonna just double this. Now, if you have a handheld blender, you can use that as well. And I like to go in with the handheld blender after I have broken up all of the peanut butter. You know, that peanut butter powder can get stuck to the bottom. And before I blend it, I just want to taste it to see if I'm liking the way or the spice to it. Oh yeah, it's just the right amount of spice, not too spicy. Because you want to enjoy your food. Like, that unless you can eat in your food, tear your mouth up, that's good. But I can't enjoy my food if my mouth is on fire and I'm searching for milk or something. So we're going to go ahead and blend this with the handheld. I'm going to use my frother, but it does the same thing. Oh, and before I finish, I do need to add some water. It calls for 3 tablespoons of hot water. And you really don't have to use this. The water is to loosen it up. So I'm gonna just stick to the actual 3 tablespoons because I'm gonna use this to coat my veggies. Okay, now we're gonna just blend it. Okay, while I'm waiting for the veggies to be done, we're gonna get some basil so we can add to our sauce and to our food. So this is my first time putting it in some ice water. It says that this should make it last for up to a week without it turning colors. So I'm gonna try to pull some of the bigger leaves. So they have a lot of different ways how they tell you to do this. You can roll it up so you can get ribbons. And if my scissors, kitchen scissors were not wet, I would use them. So you just want to kind of chop, because if you go like that, it will make the basil a little wetter than you may want. And I'm going to use the frozen jasmine rice by Trader Joe's. I absolutely love Trader Joe's jasmine rice. I'm a jasmine rice girl anyway. So I'm just going to put that in there. And if I don't use this whole dressing or spicy Thai sauce on my veggies, I'll save a little bit for a salad a little bit later. And I mean, the basil, the little pieces of basil, you shouldn't be able to really tell a big difference, but it's just gonna add a little more flavor to the dressing, because basil is a very strong herb. It smells so good, it's so potent. So we're gonna set that to the side, and now I'm gonna bring out the veggies so I can add the baby corns to it. Yes, look at that. So good. So we're just gonna sprinkle this basil on top. Then we have these baby corns. I think what I'm gonna do is cut them in pieces. It's just something about these baby corns that I'm obsessed with. Anytime I can get an Asian dish that has these, I'm just in love. All right, y'all, my battery died, but I've added the basil on top. And now I am cutting up these baby corns. I think I said baby carrots, but I meant baby corns. And I'm just cutting them because I don't need them to be whole. I just need to have some pieces in here that are bite-sized. Now, because this is hot, I'm going to use my salad tongs. But what I'm going to do now is just pour a little bit of the sauce on top because I want to actually pour it over once I serve. It has the right amount of sweet and spiciness to it. So we're just gonna bring this all together, and I'm only gonna put it in there for another 5 minutes because I don't want my veggies to get too mushy. And again, if you're not plant-based, you can add your favorite meat protein to this. This would be good with any meats. Not sure about beef, but like definitely chicken, fish, like a salmon or some shrimp. You could probably, if you want to keep this, you know, plant-based, but you want like a meaty texture, you could definitely do tofu. So we're gonna pop this back in the oven for 5 minutes, and then we're going to serve it. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and try this. Hopefully this shot gets everything it needs to get. But anyway, let's go ahead and dig into this. But first, grace. Amen. I'm so excited. I kind of wish I would have, like I said, put a couple of basil slithers on top, but it's all good. Oh my gosh. Just the right amount of spice. I'm glad I decided just to do 2 tablespoons versus doubling it like I did everything else. If I wanted to make it higher in protein, because the peanut butter gives it protein and some of these other vegetables and things like that, but I can, you know, air fry or put in the oven some tofu, or like I said, if you aren't, you know, trying to be completely plant-based, and you can add whatever protein. And I feel like steak probably wouldn't be bad. It just depends on the strip that you use, but this is really good, y'all. I think next time, instead of doing a total of 20 minutes on my vegetables, because I tell y'all I like mine to still be crispy, I'll probably do like 7 minutes on 375, and then put it back in for maybe like another 7-8 minutes, just to kind of be like under 20 minutes, but not over 15 minutes. But the vegetables still have a bite to it, but I don't, they're not mushy at all. I don't mind mushy vegetables, but I like mine just to have, like, when I'm biting it, I can hear the crunch or the, like, I don't want to just be like smush like mashed potatoes. This is the perfect spicy Thai veggie bowl. Again, the Thai sauce, which also can be doubled up as a Thai dressing. It's courtesy of Shakayla here on YouTube. But I love vegetables, and I love jasmine rice. This is hitting. I'm excited about the next recipe that I'm going to make with you guys. That one is going to be all my own. Now, somebody else probably made that same recipe, but I'm going to make it totally from how I want to make it. I have all of the ingredients already except for one thing, but other than that, I can't wait until y'all see that recipe. I can't even wait to taste it, because this is one of the ingredients, no, 2 of the ingredients I've never had it. Well, I think I had one of them one time years ago, so long ago I can't even remember what it tastes like. But Anything over a decade is removed. So I have 2 ingredients that's going to be the first time that I'm going to be eating and preparing all for the first time. So I hope you all enjoyed today's video. I hope you all enjoyed this recipe. Again, if you don't want it spicy, leave out the sriracha. You could probably substitute it with just crushed red pepper or the crunchy, what do you call it? Hold on. Or you could substitute it with the chili crunch, because this really isn't all that spicy. Or if you just don't want it spicy at all, don't add any of it. But I do believe that the color may be a little bit different if you don't add a little bit of the sriracha. I think, no, it doesn't. Because I think the peanut butter, what gives it the color along with the other things, because Shaquilla made it one time as well without sriracha. But that's the beauty of creating your own meals. You can make them your own. You don't have to be tied down to the exact measurements, the exact ingredients. It's all based on how you like it. I always suggest when you are doing sauces or seasonings, especially sauces, because it's hard to really kind of tell what your proteins or your vegetables are going to taste like until you cook them. So I'm always on the side of caution is when you use like dried herbs and powders, it's easier to just add that saltiness to it after the fact versus cooking with it. Once you cook with the salt, it's hard to bring that salt down. So get all the flavors together first, and then if you feel like once it's done you need a little bit more salt, then you add a little bit more. Like I always tell my clients, it's easier to cut more hair than to add more hair. Well, you can buy the hair, but if you come in, let's trim off or cut a little bit first, see how you like it, and if you want to go more, then we go more. Same with your food recipes. Add your seasonings as you go. Taste as you go on the things that are tasteable. I don't know if that's a word, but that's the joy of cooking. So I hope you enjoyed this week of living healthy at 50. You can be living healthy at any age, but this is the journey of a 50-year-old woman that is trying to get her life right, get her body back to a certain degree, because I don't want to be a skinny girl no more. I love being thicker than a stick, but I want to be thick in the right places. Okay? But yeah, so whether you are 15, 21, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, it doesn't matter what your age is. The goal is to always live healthier day by day by consuming things that's going to always, always, always give you the best that your body deserves. So again, if you enjoyed today's video, make sure you give it a big old thumbs up. Click that subscribe button and that notification bell. That way you'll never miss any of my Living Healthy at 50 videos. So until next time, loves, peace and good eats.